Welcome back to Time Served, the channel that scans docket so you don't have to when you are sitting in lockup. It is more than likely that you have been rude and disrespectful to someone at some point in your journey. However, when you do this while trying to get leniency from Judge Bryant, well, that will not end well for you, ma'am. And take a word of advice from someone who's watched a ton of Judge Bryant.
Shut up. Just be quiet.
Tell us what you think by leaving a comment down below. Like and subscribe, set your notifications to all. Let's roll, nerds.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. So for Miss Jacqueline O'Brien, Your Honor, the Miss Gray said she's going to look into her traffic warrants, but the case she has right now, actually the warrant is lifted, so they should not be holding her in for your cases.
Listen, it's some things I know, but so the warrant is lifted, but so is it already a personal bond?
No, it just looks like someone has set aside her warrant. Ms. Gray said, again, she is going to look into it. She says she does have several traffic warrants. That may be why they're holding her, but they look to be personal bonds. She says she's going to look into that because she said there are a lot of traffic and ordinance violation warrants. But for your case, actually the warrant has already been lifted, so your case is not holding her in.
The warrant is lifted, but she still has a $500 10% bond.
Yes.
All right. So that's the situation, counsel, with respect to the bond. So here's the thing. If someone tells me they have the bond to post, which I believe everybody should have $50, but that's besides the point. If somebody says, this is a mess, I need y'all to tell the people in the breakout room, when they come out of the breakout room, one, I don't know why they're unmuting, but two, the rule of being stationary, seated in the upright position, ready to attend court is applicable. Don't come out of the breakout room walking around and it's distracting to what is going on in the courtroom. All right, I'm going to put Miss Almond in the waiting room. That was very distracting. Okay, she has a $500 10% bond on my case. And nobody is stopping whoever she claims is trying to come down and post that bond. Nobody's stopping them from posting the bond. Now, if somebody tell me they can't afford the bond, which I think they should be able to afford the bond, then I'll address that. But Ms. O'Brien says not only can she afford the bond, she has sent someone to post the bond. Now, perhaps the person that she sent to post a bond is the one that's not being honest with her about where the $50 is going. But she can post that $50 bond. And she has numerous of other warrants, which could be what's holding her in the Macomb County Jail. Now, I don't know. So we can wait and see. But I mean, my case is pretty much over. The $500 10% bond is affordable. She can afford it. And she can tell the person who's supposed to be coming down here to stop taking her $50 and go ahead and put it on the bond. We are receiving bonds. We are receiving bonds. We are receiving payments for bonds. This case, the bond can be paid by coming down to 36th District Court, standing in the line at the bond window, and handing them $50 in cash or $50 on a credit card. Anything further?
No, thank you, Judge.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, then we're all set until August the 2nd.
Judge, if I may.
You may. Sure, Mr. Moran.
Sorry, Ryan Moran, PA 3665, also appearing on behalf of Miss O'Brien. Your Honor, I don't know what's going on with her and whoever she's asking to pay this $50. And I'm scared because she hasn't been employed and because she's been in there for quite some time, that if this person isn't reliable and they haven't been reliable in the past, I'm not so sure they're going to be reliable in the future. And I don't think she personally can afford a judge. I think that somebody close to her is telling her that they can. But because of that, because rehab is really depending on this, I don't want to put it in someone else's hands, Your Honor. I'd rather have it in ours. And for that reason, Judge, I'm going to ask the court to consider reducing bond to personal. Now, she did miss court. She did have some issues, but because she's being proactive and she's going to be getting into rehab, I think she's getting played, to be quite honest with you, Your Honor. I think somebody is lying. And
she don't realize she being played, because let me tell you this, she was real adamant with that deputy. Remember when I told her to stop talking? She was acting like we doing something wrong. I've been trying to pay the bond. I've been trying to pay the bond since, as opposed to saying, I don't know what's going on. So look at the difference. I don't know what's going on. I have sent someone to pay the bond, and they are telling me that they're not being allowed to pay the bond. Can somebody look into it? As opposed to, I've been trying to pay the bond. I've been trying to pay $50. They won't take the $50. I've been trying to pay the bond for 4 weeks. And for 4 weeks, 36th District Court has been saying, no, we don't want no $50. Even though the judge set the bond at $50, 510%, we don't want it. Well, this is a lesson for Miss O'Brien. This is a lesson for Miss O'Brien. One, that when you come before the court, you might, I'm just saying, it's just me. You might want to show some humility. That's number one. Number two, that's why we appoint lawyers to people. That's why we say lawyers should be the ones representing. So perhaps if she had to just let Mr. D'Amico, did I pronounce your name all the way wrong?
D'Amico, but that's okay.
Yes,
Thank
D'Amico.
you.
I knew when I said it, because I was like, that's not a, yeah, okay.
That's okay, thanks.
Listen, if she had let Mr. D'Amico speak, I wouldn't even know she had that attitude. I wouldn't have even known that she was blaming 36th District Court for her being locked up. I wouldn't even know. But since she was not letting her lawyer speak for her, and her whole attitude just blossomed. It just was like, y'all don't know what y'all doing down there. I keep trying to pay the bond. And they won't take the $50. They won't even take the $50. We taking everybody else $50, $10. The people come down here, they post their little $10 bond. We take their $10. But for some reason unknown to us today, they would not take Miss O'Brien's $50. Yes, counsel?
I just believe it might be just a little bit of a built-up frustration. I know it's, it shouldn't be that way, but I think if she's just frustrated, she just wants to, attend the rehab. And I think there's just something going on there. It's unfortunate, but if we can just, play the field here and just, move on with this so she can attend the rehab, that would be great for her. I think she's just has a little bit of frustration here. I do apologize.
This is what I'm going to do. I don't know what's going on with all of those, a whole bunch of traffic warrants that she has out there. Miss O'Brien is charged with retail fraud. And I'm going to let her get out of jail to go to the rehab, but she's going to be tethered to the rehab because there's some things that I also know. Having been practicing law and being on this bench for 16 years. There's some things that I also know. And I would, if I was in jail, I would be trying to get to the rehab too. I would be trying to get to the rehab because right now I'm in jail. So of course I'm going to tell the people I want to go to rehab because where I don't want to be is this jail. I'm going to reduce her bond to $500 personal bond plus a GPS tether, and she will be tethered to the rehab. So wherever they sending her for rehab, that's where she's going to be tethered to. A restricted GPS tether. She's tethered to the rehab. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
No,
Thank you very much.
All right. Did we know what rehab she's going to?
I do not, Your Honor. I will find that out.
So what we need to know is whatever her other bond is that's sending her to rehab, this bond is sending her to that same rehab on tether. Okay?
Okay.
Would you like us to get her in the breakout room and get that information so the court has it?
Yeah, sure. If it's available, Mr. Murad, if that information is available, I want you to get it.
I'm going to get it, Judge. We're going to put her in the breakout room now, if that's okay.
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor.